So I was experimenting on how to grow my own potatoes, and I had a 5 gallon bucket. Well, really a tote, but I only had like 2 gallons of dirt in it. I really didn't do much. I was just experimenting, and I got this big one, then this, and then these two were very close to the plant. This one was still connected to the plant root, like right on the bottom of the stem. So when I cut it up, and I do each piece, I put each piece separately, and then I got all this out of one of those little horns of the potato. Now, if you want to learn how to make your own potatoes, I know this is only a couple, but I'm just showing you kind of what I got. You know what I mean? I got all this out of one rotten potato that I cut up for pieces, you know? And you'll get way more if you do this early in the season and let it go for like 3 or 4 months. I think this is only like 2 months, maybe 2.5 months. That's it. And the piece I planted was only about this big. All right, step one, you're gonna take one of your potatoes and you're gonna put it in like the closet or something where it's dark all the time and not too humid. So I had this one in some darkness, and you see all these little things on here, like they're called spuds or eyes. My mom used to call these the potato eyes, and I used to have to pick them off when I was little before I had to shave the potatoes. So once you get the potato like this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut it up into pieces. And then the pieces that are wet and fresh like that, you're gonna let the potatoes sit out. So I put it on a plate for a day, all the little pieces, right? I know it looks kind of crappy on the bottom, but don't worry. I might have let it hang out just a little too much. Maybe you should do 1 day, I did 2 days. And then I took this little plastic and put some dirt in it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna push these down into the bottom here. There's no holes in this, so we're just gonna mist it. We're not gonna like really soak it like we would a plant, so it comes out the bottom. And we're gonna just place these around in here like so, 5 of them. And then we're gonna cover up almost all of the eye like this. And then I'm gonna get a misting bottle, just a bottle of water, and I'm gonna mist until just the top is wet. And then you can look through this and you'll be able to see that all of it is not wet. But what I'll do is I'll mist a little bit, just so the top is wet and turns black instead of brown. And then it'll start to soak that water down through a little bit. And then in 12 hours, I'll mist it again. And then 12 hours more, I'll mist it again. And you'll see little shoots of plants start to grow out of these. Now, they might not all live, so that's why I did 5. You could get, you know, like one here, 2, 3. There's a little baby one growing, 4. The one on this side, 5. And then this back boy, 6. And some big chunky ones that still have a nice piece of potato. We could still let this one grow for, you know, another week, and this one will grow. So you don't want to just cut like 1 or 2 and put them in there, because not all of these will grow. What you want to do is you want to up your chances. Now, if all 5 sprout, that's great. You know, I could put them all in, I'm going to put them all in like one plastic tote. And then I'm going to show you, you can't just let them grow crazy. You got to, there's special things you have to do. So this is step 1. And then we're going to come back in a few days and see what happens. And we're going to move on to step 2 of how to make your own potatoes and not have to pay grocery store prices anymore. I have my peppers and everything, all this stuff, even over to my banana, avocado, all the different peppers here. All this was, I bought one of these things at the store. Like I bought a green pepper at the store. And then I took a couple seeds out and I planted them. And this is exactly what I'm doing, you know? And in the summer, I have all this stuff outside growing on its own. God just provides the light and everything, and I provide the water. But in the winter, I have like a little walk-in closet I turned into this, I have a little walk-in closet I turned into this little garden. Just put some Mylar on the wall, and I got a little light, and now we get free veggies, and it cost us hardly anything. The house is already warm, just an extra light, and the Mylar you only pay for once. And we just used old buckets. And I cut a lot of holes, drilled a lot of holes in them to aerate. I saw that online, that they grow better. And some of them, like, even dropped little seeds, or dropped like, they would drop something and grow babies. You know, this one's growing babies. So in a couple more weeks, we'll check our potatoes and see about where we're at. I'm going to transplant this one. And when you transplant, when it starts to grow up like that, you see there's a lot of little hairs on the potato. I don't know if you guys can see it. I have to get it out of this light, this grow light. But you're gonna knock it down and put some dirt on it, and it's gonna grow 2 potatoes out of it. I'm gonna show you a trick.
After a few weeks of light and water, I have these plants growing already. And these plants are kind of like tomato plants where they have all these little hairs on them. So if this plant kind of falls over, or you bend it down and kind of put dirt on it, it might resprout another plant if you leave this branch up and then move straight up. And then you can kind of spread it out that way as well. We are going to take these, see how they came in little groups. So this is all one plant, these three. That one over there has two. This one has two. And this, oh, okay, it's got some little babies. And this one's got some little babies. But they're getting pretty tall. They're over 12 inches. I should have planted them already, but I wanted to get the effect for you guys to see kind of what's going on here. So I'm going to take these four, and I'm going to try to hit the four corners in this tote. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to bend some of the tall ones in, and I'm going to fill up some of the main stem to see if I can get another root down and turn one of these branches into another top. That way I have a chance to get two potatoes. One, if I just do one, I might get a chance for one potato, but if I do two, you know, I might get a chance that they might each get a potato. But that's the kind of plant that this is. You can kind of do the same thing when it's growing. When it's already making plant tubes, then not too much this is going to help. Maybe to spread a little bit. But like after your tomato already is growing tomatoes, that's not really going to help trying to push it down again. You're just pushing the fruit closer to the dirt and the bugs or whatever you might have outside. So let me get these planted and I'll show you what it looks like real quick in the tote. Okay, so I kind of broke them up into root bundles here. So I had to actually break some of the little feeler roots apart in between, but it's no big deal. They're in the vegetative stage, and they really didn't have a space to sprout out. But what I did was the long one I started here. See where the two babies are? And I did that because the two babies are going to grow up this way, and then that had a long stem, so I pushed it out and then buried it. So any of those feelers could turn into a root going down, and then we have a chance of something coming up here, a branch making a little its own like plant, and then we're going to keep riding that forward. And then this little one I rooted over here, and it was just like this, a long one, but it was two. So I'm coming this way, so I'm like chasing this way, and then this will take a little bit to grow, and it'll give this a little bit to grow. So I'm like strategically, last time I did this, I just kind of planted, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then kind of covered it up with dirt. And then as it grew up, covered it up with dirt. And it did grow up with those potatoes, but I only got a few potatoes because I didn't make a root system. So this time I'm twisting as they come up, and I make more dirt, and I pile more dirt in here. I'm gonna keep turning and laying them down a little bit to see if I can layer the tubes as I'm coming up, and we'll see what happens on the next video when I harvest these ones. So I have all of them in now. So we started with this one, and I went to this one, and then I did this little one that had two in it to get like a fresh start to try to grow these two new shoots while the long shoots buried. And I left one of the branches to try to grow shoot here. And then this long one's going to take a little longer because I buried it so much to try to grow to save these. And then I did the same on this side. This had 3 long shoots, long plants, and then branches coming off. So I'm going to try 1, 2, 3. And if I get 2 of them, or at least 1, then I'll have another one that will grow straight up this way, and then the roots will grow straight down. So I might get another 1 or 2, 3 potatoes here. And then what I'll do is I'll keep going all the way around, and then I'll let it grow for like a week or 2, and then I'll put some more in and let it grow for a week or 2, and then I'll almost fill it to the top. You don't want to fill it all the way to the top, because when you water it, you want to at least have a little bit of a rim, like a ½ inch. So if you're pouring water in this slow around your plant, you don't want it to overflow. And then just kind of let it go after that. So I am going to go ahead and put this back upstairs in the plant room. And if this video goes good and you guys kind of like this kind of stuff, then I'll get comments and views, and we'll start showing you how we do our peppers inside for the winter. We're going to try to do carrots this next time through. I have tomatoes growing inside for the winter, a couple other things. So the nursery is doing pretty good. All of our peppers, as you can see, are growing really nice. We've grown a few more, taken a few out, so you guys can see where we're at. But let's look at the other side of the room over here. So that are the potatoes. So now you see that they're growing upwards
and they're making different branches in different places. So what we're going to do is now, I'm going to fill this up with dirt, and some of them didn't make it, you know, and some of them did. So this is why these will root themselves. So this is why you have to keep trying to move it around. So we have a couple, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 strong. And some of the little nubs didn't make it, like I said, but these large plants did. So I'm not going to move them over anymore to try to space them out because we already did that. And now they're in good spacing. So I'm just going to add some dirt here. This one that's kind of tall, I am going to add dirt over the line here and try to grow these up as separate. So they'll root underneath this line. They'll root straight down in this big plant. And then this one I'll bring over just a little bit and put some dirt on it, and it'll force it into the corner. So I'll have one in the corner here, this big one in the corner here, this one's in the corner here, and this one's in the corner. So what I'm doing is I'm taking chances. You know, the more branches that I kind of try to spread and make out. So this one has 2. This one only has 1. The other ones didn't make it, but this one did. Now, what if your main plant didn't make it, but one of the shoots made it and turned into a plant like this? So this was the main plant, and this, the little one, is a shoot. This is the main plant, and now this one was a little shoot. So now I have a chance to grow potatoes from this and this and that one. So that's why I try to get my chances up as much as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all the, in a few months, we're going to have our potatoes and everything's going to be great. I hope this helps you out. It's nice and fun. It's free. You know, you might have to buy the dirt one time, but then you can recycle the dirt because you just put some nutrients on it or whatever. Do your due diligence and see like what kind of dirt the potatoes want. This is just regular potting soil that I was trying. I don't recommend getting garden soil for the house because it has manure in it and it could attract bugs. But potting soil doesn't attract any bugs, so that's a little tip for you. All right, I gotta talk to my potatoes and try to get them to grow and add a little dirt, and we'll see you on the next one.